Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, allegedly. Good morning. It's Friday. It is Friday. Good morning to everyone's people, I believe. Hope everybody had a good July 4th. Just wanted to come on for a couple of minutes and hang out. Um, you know, maybe talk about some observations. It feels like it has been a weekend. Food junkie, good morning. It feels like it's been a weekend to me. I just chilled yesterday. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't really do anything. I just relaxed because I'm getting ready to head back down to Virginia and West Virginia to make sure my mom is okay, or to make sure she's coming along. Very interesting things happened this week, this holiday. Very, very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. People have been very interesting. We have people that have disappeared off the face of the earth with Louis and Fendi and Coach, and nobody knows where they are with the bags. Interesting, interesting, interesting. One content creator's face is being used on merch to make money. Like I said, very, very interesting. Very interesting. Good morning, Satin. Good morning, Felicia M. Good morning, Patricia Ellington. I hope all of you had a wonderful 4th and that it was safe and you really got some real good, lasting enjoyment. Donna Jean, 74, good morning. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. We had a collard green challenge that came out for the last couple of days. Hand-picked collard greens versus Glory collard green bag. Very interesting. And in the midst of it, there was something brought up about poke salad. And when that came up, that just took my mind all the way back to my grandmother, who was one of my most favorite people in the world. She was quite a lady, quite a character. As a matter of fact, somehow poke salad was growing in the yard, and my grandmother would go out and pick the poke salad and she would cook it. However, you had to pick poke salad at a certain time, otherwise it was poisonous. To Beauty by Joyce, I know about the poke salad, baby girl. I know about the poke salad. Monk Chip, welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Mimi, good morning. Thank you all for dropping in. I just chatting it up this morning. I just wanted to come on and just maybe just chat about a couple of things that happened. Eddie Peeler, good morning to you and welcome. Welcome. Trevor Flowers, good morning and welcome and welcome. I'd like to say to all my content creators, thank you and I appreciate you. And to all my subscribers and my new subscribers, I appreciate you and I thank you for your support. Yeah, for all the comments, I appreciate every comment. And let me say this. I am from the house of Jay Wilson. I'm from the house of Jay Wilson. It is Jay Wilson who encouraged me to start my own platform. Um, so just wanted to holler that out. Although we don't always agree, let me say this: just because you start from somebody's platform doesn't mean that you always have to agree with them. You know, but I'm grateful, and I'm also a product of my vlog sister, who shared quite a bit with me. Treecey Living My Truth, and I appreciate her. And Sean Bradley, I consider myself a chatty, or a FHAT, fat chat. Um, you know, and some others who have been great influences. Rum Raisin, welcome. Good morning. I am doing wonderful. Hope all is well with you. Felicia M., good morning. Satin says, now, Mr. Johnny Mac and everyone in the chat, I am 100% also to the core, but I repeat, I do not like collard greens, but love Fantasia's song Collard Greens and Cornbread, LOL. But all other greens I love. Yeah, there's some great greens. There's kale, there's spinach, um, there are turnip greens, and a lot of people say that turnip greens are bitter. Well, my loves, there are some secrets to making turnip greens that um, don't come out bitter. India Freeman, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, and I heard a lot of people complain about mixed greens. I happen to enjoy them when I do cook them. I've learned a way of cooking collard greens, turnip greens, and let's see, collard green, turnip greens, and wow, collard greens, turnip greens, kale. I'm a lover of kale. Kale and I get along very, very well. Very well. As a matter of fact, I don't use as much lettuce as I use kale. Um, for me, I seem to love that roughage that helps to keep the body in sync. It helps to keep stuff moving out. Um, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. So my sister turned me on to cooking the three greens, and she did a very good job. And I just piggybacked off of that. Oh, mustard greens. That's it. Thank you, Felicia M. Mustard greens. Mustard greens. Wonderful. They are wonderful. I enjoy those three greens. And I even, like I said, I even started using some kale in my greens. And they don't come out. For me, they don't come out bitter. A lot of times just a little sugar will help balance it out. Cynthia Jones, good morning. Cynthia Jones says, I'm Southern. I love greens. Also, I mix turnips and mustards. I just started eating raw spinach and kale. Darling, let me tell you, raw spinach, again, a lot of times I will use raw spinach on my sandwich. I just like it. And a lot of like the iceberg lettuce, there is no nutritional value. It's just water. So I really do like uh, switching it up, giving the sandwich a little flavor, even in my salads, having all kinds of greens and vegetables in my salads. It's like a yeah, and I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea, but a lot of times it's like a orgasm to the palate, you know. And I like doing stuff from scratch. I like making my own salad dressings, um, which is great because you know what's in them because you put it in there. Patricia Ellington says, Johnny Mac, I'm with you. Love all greens. They are the bomb. Yes, they are. Yeah. Oh, sexy, incomplete. Thank you for coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I agree with you, Cynthia Jones. Turnip bottoms are good. And rutabagas are the bomb. If if you know how to make them. A lot of people don't know how to cook rutabagas. And let's go one further. Cooking a rutabaga can be, or cutting a rutabaga can be an exercise regime. You have to have a good sharp knife, and you have to know how to get in there and cut that bad boy up. Oh, your youngest son, Cynthia Jones? Yeah, on his sandwich, it works for him. Yeah, yeah. Because some of us, you know, we once we start experiencing the greens, um, once we started seeing the greens, once we started experiencing the greens, boom, um, you find yourself enjoying other greens other than just the lettuce. And there are different types of lettuces, though. Uh, Satin, I was just talking about it. Rutabagas are the bomb. They are the bomb. My grandmother used to do rutabagas in several different ways. And when I was young, one of the things I did, I spent a lot of time with my grandmother. Yes, it's rutabaga. Yeah. My grandmother did a lot of cooking. She did a lot of cooking. And a lot of times I was around her in the kitchen. And one of the main things I liked by being around her in the kitchen is that, you know, I was a taste tester. I got the spoon and the bowl, which was a lot of fun. It kept me quiet. But I learned a lot about cooking from scratch. And I prefer, when I cook, I prefer doing everything from scratch. And let me say this to everybody. You think you save time cooking out of a box or mixing stuff from boxes and packages. You don't save no more time than when you do it uh, from scratch. It's all about preparation. It's all about preparation. Uh-huh. Lady Karen, welcome. I'm glad you're here. You're right. The first frost, especially when you're picking them, hand picking them, that first frost, yeah, it does. It makes them nice and tender. Yeah, I do rutabagas. Okay, that's cool. Patricia Ellington. Yes, and smoked meat. Let's not forget smoked meat, beloveds. Let's not. It doesn't matter whether it's smoked turkey. I prefer smoked turkey. But let me tell you something. Cooking those greens and those rutabagas with any kind of smoked meat, baby, takes it to the next level. That's some good eating. That's some good eating. Yeah, my grandmother used to sometimes cube them. Um, well, most of the time she cubed them. Um, I have done them different ways. I have made rutabagas like mashed potatoes, and that's also very, very good. Cynthia Jones. Okay, your son just started eating vegetables at 19. He's hooked now. Yeah, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. A lot of people be surprised. I know some of the things that, and I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to be sort of funny. I hated beets when I was coming up. When I was growing up, I hated beets. However, once I became older, there was something about beets, especially in my salad, that um, I just began to enjoy beets. Um, a girlfriend of mine, she used to like to pickle the beets. And I got me a couple of mason jars, beloveds. And not only did I start pickling beets, I started doing the onions with the beets. And then I started doing the jalapeno peppers with the onions and the beets. And you talking about a good salad topper, baby, baby. How I make my greens. India Freeman, make a video. Oh my gosh. Um, I'll give it some thought. I'll give it some thought. I will give it some thought. Yeah, I'll give it some thought because I don't know. I enjoy cooking, but I don't know. It's a whole different thing when you're doing it on live. I would have to really sit down and try to capture everything I want or how I want to do it so that it comes across where individuals can glean from it and take something and implement it in their way of doing things, you know, for better taste and for better outcome, better in game, if you will. Let me tell you something, Cynthia Jones, you starting something up in here. I love squash too and zucchini. Now, this is something I did. Well, let me say this. Let me say this. Um, my two best friends and we are foodies. We are foodies. Every one of us can cook. However, I am the only one out of the no, well, I can't say I'm the only one out of the three that bake. There's two of us out of the three that are really good at baking. Um, we are foodies. We love food and we love to cook and all that kind of good stuff. However, one of us became a vegan. And you know, when you hear veganism, somebody's going vegan, you're like, ooh, all the good stuff, excuse me, all the good foods you no longer, you know, can eat. We look at it as a punishment, if you will, or as what word do I want to use? Um, Maybe not as a punishment, but well, anyway, I can't think of the word right now, but it's amazing. We are all still foodies, and I have become what is called, and everybody laughs when I say this, a flexitarian. Okay, I have become a flexitarian. My friend is so good, and she's only been a vegetarian, I mean, a vegan for 2 years. This individual cooks vegan food so well and with so much flavor until you wouldn't know that it's vegan. Okay? It is delicious. So when we all go out, a lot of times, because of the third party, we go vegan. And I've tasted some vegan food that's like, y'all have got to be lying. You had to rub this up next to some chicken or some steak because the texture and the taste is so much like meat until it's ridiculous. So I enjoy it. But I said that to say this. I tried something that turned me out. The let me see, what was the name of it? It's zucchetti. Zucchetti. It's when you take the zucchini and make, like spaghetti. I did that. And I used, the tomato sauce and, fixed it just like I would do spaghetti. And I want you all to know that Johnny Mac sat down and enjoyed every single bite of it. So now I think I may be off pasta because I prefer the taste and the texture and the um, the nutritious aspect of it. Very, very good. It was a wonderful experience. Hey, China Doll, God bless you. Thank you. Thank you for stopping through. You are welcome here anytime. Uh, very welcome here anytime. I appreciate seeing you. It's my pleasure to host you here today. Thank you so much for coming. Sugar Hill, welcome. You need a number? Oh boy, I'm trying to get her to do some of her recipes on I'm trying to get her to do some of her recipes on a YouTube channel. However, she's so busy. But I'm telling you, everything from cookies, and I'm telling you, when that girl bakes cookies, we go in. We go in. The vegan cheeses, the cheese sauce that she makes. I mean, you would think that you are eating actual cheese. I mean, it is so creamy. It is so good. Uh, it just, it just, it just does my heart good. Let me put it that way, and my body. Um, that's a lot of fun. Lots of fun. Von G, good afternoon. No, is it afternoon yet? No, not yet. Good morning, Von G. We appreciate you for coming in. Well, I'm going. She just does so much. She's in the field of education, and uh, yeah, I keep talking to her. We'll see what happens, but she's so busy. Yeah. So this fourth was interesting. Oh, you got to go, Patricia Ellington. I appreciate you stopping by. Hope you and everybody have a great day. Just wanted to show, I got that in the way. Just wanted to show some love. Patricia Ellington, I appreciate you for stopping by. And we received the love and we give it back to you. And we declare and decree that the rest of your day will be phenomenally wonderful and successful and productive. Thank you for stopping by. I had to eat veggie cheese a long time ago. I've recently found 3 hard cheeses that I can tolerate. Okay. I think veggie cheese may be a little different than vegan. I'm not sure, but yeah, we as colored people, um, we should start being a little more conscious of what we put in our bodies. DM Lamb, welcome. And good morning. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate you. Yeah, we have to be more cognizant of what we put in our bodies. We have to be much more conscious of taking care of ourselves. Because a lot of the chemicals in the foods, wonder why we have obesity. We have obesity because of the growth hormone that's in a lot of the animals. They do a lot in the animals to make them big faster. So in ingesting that, um, you're ingesting the same chemical that they put in the animal, so and we need to move more. And I'm not just saying that to you all, I'm saying it to myself too, because I have sort of kind of not kept up with my regiment, my exercise regiment. um, However, I am going to make time for me. And let me say that to you, let me say that when you work out, when you move, you make time, you're making time for you. You are making time for you. And so often with the workout, and if you don't believe me, try it. Try it. Let me challenge you. Let me challenge you. Work out 3 days in a row. Okay. Set a time and make out, set a time, carve out some time. Um, you can try it for 30 minutes for the 3 days. Now, when you do that, I want you to be observant of your disposition. You will find that you have more clarity. You will find that you will begin to acquire more clarity, um, and more in tune with things that are going on around you. Um, I challenge you, 3 days, just 30 minutes a day, just 30 minutes a day. And I guarantee you, a lot of the stuff that seemed a little off or confusing, or you couldn't get your mind around, you'll find clarity. You'll find clarity. And also sometimes we need to just shut the body down voluntarily, um, through rest and meditation. Meditation is very important because what it does is it allows the mind to rest. Um, it allows the mind to be free. Okay. Most of the time, we have so much going on in our lives, and so much going on in our heads, that we, even when we stop to sleep, um, our mind is still going. It's still going. It's still going. Sometimes we need to just sit back and just allow the mind to flow and to clear itself. Okay. Patricia, Hair Candy, and more. Hello and good afternoon, because it's afternoon now. Good afternoon. Thank you for dropping in. Just wanted to do a little chat and whatnot, because it's Friday. It's Friday, and so much has happened over the last couple of days, until it feels like, it felt like a weekend. A lot of the hubbub that was going on actually felt like a weekend. Um, we have so many things that was going on. Um, I saw a video um by Kwani, and I was concerned. I was concerned, um, because in this video, I flashed back to something Kwani said about the women in club chat, that there are women in club chat that want to um, have sex with Sean Bradley, and yet um, Kwani, when it comes to Sean Bradley, behaves like a woman scorned, as if she had maybe a sexual relationship with him. And you know how some men, they get women and they sleep with them once, and the woman is totally open, and they don't want to no more. It was, for him, it was just a one night stand, but for her, she fell in love. And after the man doesn't want her, she becomes angry and bitter. I was a little concerned, because the venom and the passion behind some of the things she says about Sean Bradley, really struck me as, I like you, Kwani, but you know, it's becoming a little redundant now. It's becoming a little redundant now. And if she sees this video, she'll probably come off on me now, but it's all right. Because I stand by what I said. It's only my observation. You know, it's my observation. I liken her behavior to a woman that is scorned and um, throwing a temper tantrum because the man she had, um, she couldn't keep. Yeah, that sounds about that. That puts it basically in a nutshell. Um, Congratulations to DM Lamb. She lost 70 something pounds. It's been slow, but worth it. And exactly. It does, you know, one of the things that I'm learning in life, and someone said this a long time ago, um, and they said this in reference to education. It doesn't matter how, I think I said this to a friend of mine. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get it, as long as you persevere and get it. It doesn't matter when you get it, just get it. So congratulations to DM Lamb. Great job, great job, great job, great job. Wonderful feeling of accomplishment. I appreciate that testimony from you, because what that does is it encourages us um, in the live to not give up, not give up. You know, you'd be surprised at the things that you say um, that encourage other people or discourage other people. This is why we have to be so careful, you know, of what we say and how we say what we say, because it's all about motivating, and that's motivating to me. Thank you, DM Lamb, for that. I really appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. She talks a lot, uh, but it seems that she doesn't listen. Once she gets something in her head, she runs with it, and it becomes reckless endangerment. As far as I'm concerned, you know, your words do a lot of damage. And if you are happy doing that kind of damage to people, how can you say that we are all black and we should be working together, yet you're calling people ugly, you're calling people the B words, you're calling people the F bomb, you know, all these things that you say we shouldn't do with each other or to each other, but you do. Good morning, good afternoon. I gotta get this right. Chupacabra. 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 No, Chupacabra. Yeah, Chupacabra. Listen, I'll get it right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate seeing you here. You know, yeah, she, you know, you tearing people down. Expressing yourself does not always mean, and you can be passionate. However, breaking people down, calling people ugly, and all this kind of stuff, and you know, the fact that you have this, that, and the other, you have money, you have old money. One of the things that I found out in my experiences is that old money is never boastful. Old money is never provocative in the negative. Old money always sits back and shows more than tells. You know, old money is just that. It's old money. It's old money. And when you have it, you don't have to keep hollering on the mountaintop that I have money and owe money, and then having lawyers on retainer. Okay, you are blessed to be able to have lawyers um, on retainer. Okay, then let me ask this question. Why isn't Susie shut down with your lawyers on retainer? With all that has been done to you, why is it that you haven't gone for her throat? Why haven't you gone to shut her down? you know, I, as Treecey would say, we the people would like to know. We the people would like to know. It's just amazing to me that everyone that covered you, everyone that befriended you, is now your enemy. What's going on? Everybody cannot be wrong. Okay, I don't believe that she's an alcoholic. Not really. However, there has to be something, some maladjustment somewhere. Again, which stems from, and I've said this before, which stems from a childhood trauma that has not been dealt with, that has been put in a compartment, and every time, an unlocked compartment, and every time there is a resemblance of that incident, that little girl comes out and she just demolishes everything. She demolishes relationships. She demolishes alliances. Um, she doesn't see the people that are in her corner that got her back. All she sees is that she's been attacked. And it amazes me how a person can ask a question of you and you feel that they have betrayed you. Maybe I don't know the background story or the behind the scenes. Um, However, it's amazing. And then you compliment while you're tearing this relationship up, the last relationship you tore up, you're giving props to the person. I'm confused. I'm confused. And again, all I can say is wow, just wow. So and everybody has been talking about the Wiley and Rico situation. I've observed it, and Wiley is going to do Wiley. Wiley is going to be Wiley, regardless of what anybody says. Wiley is in that vein at this point where he feels like he is, in the words of ZT, a boss and a bully. He is a celebrity. So respecting people and being straightforward and being transparent and being honest is not part of the game. So Wiley is a master manipulator. He may be bipolar, but Wiley is creative, and he has really, to some extent, perfected his ability to manipulate. Um, and that's who Wiley is. So, and I am um, I am a sole believer. I am a sole believer in, if someone shows you who they are, believe them. Believe them, because if they say one thing and you believe that one thing, and they show you who they are, and you discard what they've shown you, then you open yourself up for you open yourself up for whatever comes with that. And I think that that's what Rico did. I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I don't care what anybody says. Every pot has its own top. Every crooked pot has a top that will fit it. So in that sense, Rico, saw something that attracted him to Wiley, and um, I I cannot say that I have never been attracted to someone online, that there was something about them that attracted me. However, uh, one has to remain mindful and accept the fact that this is just on screen. So, um, becoming emotionally attached and involved with a screen figure always opens you up for, sometime it works out. I'll have to say that. Sometime in the person's experience, it might work out, but most of the time, they are not the person that you fantasize that they are. And in reality, you get a reality. I don't want to say a reality check, but it's one of those uncomfortable things when reality hits you in the face. And then up on top of that, being in denial is very. I know it's very dangerous, and it's just a crazy situation all the way around. I will say this: Rico did a very wise thing when he developed his own platform and began to show receipts from the conversations or the texting back and forth with Wiley, the pictures, the suggestions of being in the same room, having, sex and all that kind of stuff. All that came out in the receipts that Rico showed, which to me, it still didn't make Rico not it still didn't make Rico a victim. It made him more like a willing victim, um, because when I looked at those receipts and Wiley's behavior, that should have told you that you don't let your feelings get involved, because at the end of the day, you are the one that's going to be hurt, embarrassed, and all that kind of stuff. DM Lamb says, after yesterday, I'm backing off a few creators, even though I want them all to win. I just can't support. And I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it, because there are some people, some content creators that I have backed off. Um, and when an individual begins to make me nauseated and feel like I'm going to throw up in my mouth, and when they become predictable, and predictable, when I say predictable, mess is okay, because mess is part of who we are. We all have that messy part in us. Um, However, when they create unnecessary, or let me put it this way, when they create a lie to base their mess upon and continue to do it, eh, you're not just messy, but you're a liar. And I can't, I can't be part of that. I can't be part of that. And that was one of the things I wanted to say when I was talking about Kwani. One of the videos I watched, Kwani said out of her own mouth in that video, she confessed to being a liar. She confessed to being a liar. She confessed that she has lied to several people on here to test if they were trustworthy. My issue with that, is if I have to test, you as to whether I can trust you or not, you can't trust me. If I will tell you a lie to test your loyalty or your trust, it makes no sense to me. It's either I trust you or I don't. It's either you have earned my trust, and in earning my trust, it has to be an interaction and a relationship over uh, an amount of time. It is a progressive situation where we build trust in each other. So if I have to lie, and that's the second time this week that I heard that statement, Diving for Depth had made the same statement that she was um, testing someone to see if they were trustworthy. For me, if that's the case, I will feel somebody out. I'm not going to test you. I'm just going to feel you out. I'm going to sit back and observe. And in our interaction, see, because it's the little foxes that spoil the vine. In other words, it's the little things that you do, not the big ones, not the most pronounced, that earned earn my trust or earn your trust. It is the small things. What may seem insignificant tells me a lot about an individual. So then, if I've got to tell you a lie to get you to prove how trustworthy you are, for me, that's a waste of my time. That's a waste of my energy. I be using my energy and my creative ability to create something lasting. And again, I just got on here to chat. I didn't get on here to preach, but y'all can say amen. If mess is the bottom line, according to DM Lamb, it's over. And I concur. If mess is the bottom line, if you are creating mess to test or to see if I'm trustworthy, then our relationship will always be, and your trust in me will always be based on some kind of mess that you have to create. Because however you start is how you're going to finish. I'm going to say that again. However you start is how you are going to finish. And most of these people that test to that do these tests to find out if you're trustworthy can't trust themselves. They are insecure. They can't trust. They have a problem with trusting. So the problem is not with the other person, it is with you. Because most of the time when you come in to intimacy with people, and intimacy not meaning sex, but intimacy in an intimate environment with people or an intimate relationship with people, you should be able to discern whether they are trustworthy or not. Okay, let me see how I can do this. Let me bring this up because I want to see the question. Now I'm feeling like Treecey. Where's that question? Okay. Chopper Kobadal. Okay. I have a question with all due respects. Do you think that Rico was attracted to Wiley because maybe it was the past? He was molested by somebody that looks like Wiley. That could be. That could be. what is that? There's a syndrome. It's called. It's a German name. It skips me right now, but how some people are kidnapped and um, they start getting feelings. Just to break it down, they start getting feelings for the person that kidnapped them. Stockholm syndrome. That's what it's called. It's called the Stockholm syndrome. That could be part of it. That could be part of it. Um, that's a possibility. I'm just going to say that. That is a possibility. It's a possibility. Um, However, I mean, X Twister, welcome. Can you have cheese nachos? Well, you can have anything you want. Anything you want to have, you can have. I mean, don't ask me. But yeah, that could be part of it. Being fixated on the person that molested you or what have you. Um, I think a lot of that comes from um, basically from being screwed up, I believe. I mean, from the incident. And sometimes when you are molested over and over by the same person, it does something to your psyche. And then it's just like some women who are molested and whatnot. They become attracted to the very type of individual that molested them, the looks and sometimes the behaviors. Okay, X Twister. I welcome you here and I appreciate you being here. However, it seems that I've got my first troll, everyone. It seems that I've got my first troll, which will, eventually cause me to do my first block. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, well, let's see. Because if we're gonna do all of that, man, it doesn't make any sense. And then I feel like Treecey, Chopper, is that you? Get out of here, Chopper. Let's see. Okay, y'all, bear with me. I got to get this together. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's see. No. There we go. Let's see. Please bear with me. Okay. Because it appears that the individual just don't, all that is unnecessary. Okay, I'm going to have to. Y'all bear with me, please. Anyway. Yeah, that's definitely a troll. Okay, let's do it like this. See what comes up. There we go. I think we got it this time, people. Okie dokie. Yeah. Okay. I apologize for the delay. Yeah. So sometimes that could be the issue. Um, I do think that Rico. I don't think Rico is slow. Um, I just feel that Rico doesn't have a hand on his emotions. You know, and that, and I'm a firm believer that if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You know, and it's all about keeping your eyes open. And when things don't add up, don't get involved because you will be the fall guy every single time. You know, don't allow yourself to be blindly led. Ask questions. As I said on Wednesday Word, that there is no such thing as a stupid question, or better yet, the only stupid question is the question you didn't ask. You know, it's better to get the answer than to walk around assuming, because the person that is in a position to give the answer will assume that you are, and rightly so, will assume that you understand and that you get it, and so they move on um, to the next part of the course. Lady Karen says, I notice also persons of molestation play out their inappropriate behavior on YouTube as well and still need help coping with their ordeal. Why is my tongue getting tired? That I have witnessed, and I think that is because they have not gotten proper or in-depth help. A lot of times people will get diagnosed and get medication, but that's where it stops. Um, in my observation uh, and experience working in part of the mental health field, is that you have to maintain. Okay, being diagnosed and medication a lot of times is not enough. You need to have therapy because you need to have the tools. You need to have the tools to do the work. Okay, you need to be able to recognize certain of your own behaviors and thought patterns before they become too much to deal with. Okay, so and listen, black folks, my people, there is nothing wrong with therapy. Nothing. There is nothing wrong with talking to someone other than Jesus. Yes, Jesus can fix it, but Jesus also has given people gifts and talents that have the tools that we need to do certain things ourselves. So, or to do the work to allow Jesus to fix it. You know, we tend to try to leave everything, especially those of us that were born and raised in a spiritual and biblical atmosphere. We have a tendency, Miss Leo, good afternoon. Thank you for coming. We have a tendency to wait on the Lord and be of good courage, and he will strengthen thine heart. That's good. That's wonderful. I believe in waiting on the Lord. But while I'm waiting on the Lord, there are things that I'm doing for myself that is within my power to do, because he's not going to come down here to do it. You have to meet him halfway. You have to give him something to work with. So this is my take on that subject. Miss Leo says, I don't think it's about Wiley per se. I think maybe something happened to him, and that he may be, and that may be the cause of his past sex work. and how he interacts with men in general, how he craves attention. Okay, that's a different that's another perspective, and that could very well be. And then here's another point of view. That could actually be who he is. And again, let me say this because I learned this a while back. Often we look at things as right and wrong. And when you look at things in right from a right or wrong perspective, basically that's judgment. Because right or wrong, right as opposed to what, and wrong as opposed to what? What is the standard? Is the standard what society says is or isn't, can or cannot be? Or is it what is? And I like to look at things as what it is. It is. It's not right. It's not wrong. It is, because people have reasons for doing what they do that may seem logical to them. So there's always a reason behind what people do. So uh, it is what it is. So in order for us to be open and to extend the hand of help, it clouds your vision and it impedes your ability to help when you look at stuff from a right and wrong standpoint. Because again, who makes the standard for what is right and what is wrong, and what is their particular bottom line? And I know somebody's gonna get gonna be a little, I don't know, maybe vexed with me when I say these things, but when you let it marinate and you think about it, you see the logic of it. Because when we do this right or wrong thing, we um, tend to find ourselves getting more emotional and more emotionally involved with the situation. On-site April, good afternoon. Thank you. And you are welcome in this chat, in this room, on this platform. Distinctly Dree, welcome. And good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, cooking from scratch is like a therapy. And a lot of love goes into it when you when you cook from scratch. But yeah, you begin to get emotionally involved, um, and from a point of judgment when you use right or wrong. And judgment is not a good thing, because in judgment, and I said this before, in judgment, you have the power to forgive, redeem, and restore. And how many of us have that kind of power where we can forgive a person and not hold it against them, redeem them, and then restore them back to a good place? Only God can do that. Only God can do that. And God loves everybody. God loves everyone. Every creature that he has created, he loves them unconditionally and in spite of. And when we start looking from that standpoint, we find ourselves accepting people as they are. And if they reach out to us, we're able to share with them to bring them to a better place, not for us, but a better place for them. Are y'all hearing me on this Friday morning? Not for us and not for anything in return. And we've got to get out of this mentality that when I do something for you, um, I'm looking for a certain type of loyalty or ownership, loyalty from you and an ownership of you, and do it and move on. Again, it's like planting seeds. When you plant a seed, what is it that you want from it? What does it owe you when you plant the seed? It doesn't owe you nothing, because if the ground is not good, you're not going to get that seed back. You're not going to reap a harvest from that seed. But when you plant a seed, when you till the ground and you fertilize the ground and you plant that seed, you are going to receive the harvest from that seed. So whatever you do, and you could be 10,000 miles away from the seed that you planted. And here's how the universe works. Karma, and I appreciate Maturish for this. Karma has your address. It has your address. It has your address. So much so, karma is with you. It's like your right hand. It's always with you. So you could be 10,000 miles away from where you planted the seed, 10,000 miles away from where you extended help to someone, a tool to someone to do the work on themselves. However, the universe, karma get together and they bring someone into your life, even if it's just for a moment, to repay you, to show you the appreciation that the universe has for you, because you did a selfless act, and because you planted into someone and did not hold them responsible for your planning in them. Exactly. Mimi, you're right. Without doing it without expectation, although inside, because you are connected, you know that you're going to get it back. And this is what makes me wonder about the individuals on YouTube that are so far in the dark that they have convinced themselves that it's not going to come back to them, and that they are above of reaping what they've sown. And when you convince yourself that, that is a mental disorder. Uh, that is a serious mental disorder at its best, because you cannot fool yourself. If you can fool yourself, you're crazy. If you convince yourself, you're crazy. You are completely gone in the mind. However, you are redeemable. You are redeemable. But you have to have the tools to do the work. And nobody can do the work for you. No one can do the work for you. But we can share and disseminate the tools to do the work. We can support you in doing the work, but we cannot do it for you. Know your own worth. Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome. Satin says, thank you, Mr. Mac. Listen, it is my pleasure It is my pleasure. And let me say this. Let me finish reading. For your wonderful words. See everyone a little bit later. Love on each other because I love you and God loves you too. Thank you, Satin, for sharing that with us. We received the love that you are giving us, and we also give it back to you, not from our heads, but from our hearts. We appreciate that. Yes, I appreciate that. That got me good. Thank you so much. It is important, and I'm one that likes to share. And I think I learned a long time ago when I was a kid that you just give it freely. Yeah, you give it freely, and it will automatically come back to you when you need it. When you least expect it, somebody will come up and bless you because you've blessed others. So never be afraid to keep your hands open, because you can't receive anything with closed fists. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out. And so when you open those fists, when you open those hands, you can and notice how giving and receiving is of the same gesture. You open your hands to receive, and you open your hands to share. So it is not difficult to share, and it should not be difficult to receive. It should be just as easy to do both. And you will find that your life, and I know this a lot of times it sounds hokey and corny, but try it and see what happens. When you least expect it, a door will open that will bless you. Somebody will come to you that doesn't even know you and bless you. They will bless you when you may be in your mind, you may be down. You may be down, and somebody will come and say something to you, not even knowing that you're down, but they will come and say something to you that will lift you completely up. Been there on both sides of that line. I've been there. I've been there. Yeah, Mimi, it's good teaching, but some people don't like good teaching. And not only is it good teaching, but it is common sense. It is common sense. And we like to say that common sense is not common. However, if you listen or if you hear with your spirit, and I explained this some time back, listening is intellectual, hearing is spiritual. Um, it's okay to filter things through your intellect. However, in order to really get seeds that are being planted, you have to get them in your spirit. You have to get them in your spirit. This way, you'll begin to see the fruits. And once the fruit manifest, you cannot keep all of that fruit for yourself. You have to share it. You have to share it because it will do you no good to keep it to yourself. And then your life will, all around you, people that are connected to you will manifest the fruit that you have harvested within your spirit and given out. And what makes it even more profound is that your life at that point becomes purposeful. It becomes purposeful. It becomes full. It becomes powerful. It becomes joyous. It becomes easy. And when I say easy, I mean, what I mean by that is that even the challenges are not difficult because you're not panicking. You won't panic when challenges come, and you'll be able to, and please get this, please get this. You'll be able to, most of the time when we have a challenge or we're in the midst of a situation, we look at it from a standpoint or a posture of being in it. However, if you for a moment take your spirit, lift it up, and look down on the situation, you will see, number one, it's not as bad as it seems. And then you're able to see, so often you're able to see the solution to the issue. And people will be amazed at how you become a problem solver, because you're able to identify the problem. So often we cannot identify the problem because we're in it, and we become emotional. And when you are emotional, when you become emotional, you're not spiritual or intellect. You just feeling. You're just feeling, and you're going on your feelings. But separating just for a moment and going up and looking down and getting a bird's eye view of the situation, you see that number one, it's not difficult to deal with. Number two, you see the solution. Number three, you'll see where the problem started, how the problem started, and then you come up with the solution and implement that solution. And guess what? Problem solved. Problem solved. Okay. Thank you. Know your own worth. And I appreciate you being receptive and identifying. And see, that's spiritual. When you say so true, amen. Oh my God, love this teaching. It lets me know that this is your spirit is agreeing. And two people cannot walk together unless they agree. Okay, they can't walk together, they can't work together, they can't strategize together unless they agree. Well, India Freeman, listen, I appreciate you being in this chat. I really appreciate seeing you. Just seeing you in here encourages me and motivates me. Thank you. And again, I want you to have a phenomenal Friday. A phenomenal Friday. Enjoy. Thank you. You all have been wonderful. I had no intentions. Oh, that looks a little grainy. What's going on? I had no intentions of being on here for an hour and 18 minutes. But I appreciate you, because you guys came in and you not only fed or received, but you also gave. And I appreciate that this is a two-way street. Understand, it is a two-way street. It is give and you get. Hey, Mama Rock, welcome. It is a two-way street. And then it's just like Jesus was telling his disciples um, to go and to um, it is the parable that he uses that he used about the wedding, that he told the king told the servants after he had sent invitations to everyone, and people sent their RSVPs back saying that they were not going to be able to attend. He then sent his servants into, he says, go into the highways and hedges and compel them to come. What happens is, uh, when you hear this and it gets into you, you go out and you will find yourself sharing it again. So not only were you blessed here, but you go out and you're blessed for being a blessing. And it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Well, Miss Leo, I appreciate you being here and I thank you. I thank you. It is my pleasure to share because, as I said, I noticed on the YouTube streets that we have time to beef and we have time to fight. We have time to claw and we have time to read, roast and gag. And believe me, I'm from the old school. I grew up in a church experience. And like the vlog father, Jay Wilson says, um, you haven't learned to read until you have spent time in church. You have not learned to read unless you've spent time with the saints, because, baby, the saints would read, especially the mothers of a certain age. One thing I've learned about people, older people, when they get a certain age, basically there is no filter. They may say it in a different way. They say it in a shady way, but they say what they mean and mean what they say. They will tell you off quick, fast, and in a hurry in such a way until when you walk away, you be like, did she just go off on me? So that's my experience. And I've always been around older people and exposed to older people. And yes, I can roast and gag, I can read and all that good stuff. However, at the end of the day, it's fun, it's entertaining, but at the end of the day, what does it produce? Does it produce life? And I think that for me, it's about producing life. It's about resuscitating someone that has lost their will. And you'd be surprised of how many people are walking around inside they are dead. They have no feelings because they've been battered, they've been beat, they've been dragged. And even, I've noticed in Hollywood and even on YouTube that you come out being the next big thing. And one little thing can cause everybody to completely turn and no longer like you and try to destroy you. So many on here do not take into account that what you do to someone else, you've already done to yourself. And this is why with the Rita situation, and I did want to say something about that. I like Rita. I thought Rita was great with what she did because she was fresh, she was new, she had a way of saying things, and her colloquialisms, her pet phrases were always done at the right time to really make you like, this girl is good. And everybody was, oh, Rita's the greatest thing YouTube has seen in a while. And then one misstep, and now people are going after her mercilessly. And I'm sitting back and I'm trying to understand why. Isn't there enough for everybody? Can't everybody live? Why can't everybody live? Why can't we honestly enjoy each other's gifts and talents that are different from ours. Why do we have to control people? And when they refuse to be controlled, we want to destroy them. Then on the flip side, you have that individual that sometimes they get all the accolades and they become so self-absorbed until they do it to themselves. They're no longer watchful. They're no longer discerning. And if anybody is going to destroy an individual, and listen to me clearly. If anybody is going to destroy you, it is not the person down the block, around the corner, in another state. It is somebody that is your close confidant because they know things about you and how to get to you quicker than anybody across the United States. And then to be so fixed on one individual, and see, this is what people close to you that want to break you down do. They do it with the flavor of what they feel someone else will do that you may not be getting along with, or you may not like them. So they drop little things in your ear, and then they drop those things in your ear to create dissension about somebody uh, uh, um, 2 blocks away or 3 blocks away. And then they do what they do in a way that they shade it to look like this individual did it to you. You have to be wise. You know, I would like to have a conversation with Rita. I would love to share with Rita. Um, but I'm not sure Rita is receptive, and um, I'm an avid practicer of not, number one, and I'm not calling her a swine or anything like that. So I'm not going to use that phrase at all. Let's not use that phrase at all. Um, I don't want to share stuff that is not received, is not well received. So rather than push my way in, sit back and wait. Because if it is to be for me to share with Rita, then I will share with Rita. But I don't want my good to be evil spoken of. Because that's another teaching that growing up I learned. Never allow your good to be evil spoken of, which means you have to be watchful, you have to be discerning, and you have to know uh, where you're doing good, and your motives for doing good have to be understood. They have to be understood, and it has to be received. I can't bless you if you do not receive it. And see, and that's another thing, and I'm going to cut this short. When well, DM Lamb says, I love Rita also. It would be nice if she learns how to ignore folks and stick to her content. She has to learn to stop being so bothered. Yes, I agree. But as a comedian, she's great. I agree. I agree. Um, it's all about focus, number one. But before you get to focus, um, you have to work on um, the insecurity and the desire to be accepted. everyone is not going to accept you. And that becomes difficult for a lot of people. Everyone is not going to like you. We would all like for everyone to like us. And when someone does not like us, seemingly for no reason, it can be difficult to digest. When you have, if you're in a room with 10 people and 9 of those people like you and 1 don't, so often we don't pay attention to the people that like us. We focus on the person that doesn't like us to try to make them like us because we want to be accepted by them. But when you are secure within yourself, you understand that everybody is not going to like me. In other words, I am not going to be everybody's flavor. I'm not going to be everybody's flavor. And I get it. I get that. So do I stop being me and focus on that one individual and release my control of me for them to accept me? Or do I remain myself and remain confident in myself and let that person go? Because 9 out of 10 times, that one person will go along, and sooner or later they will come around and they will wind up being your strongest supporter. And if you don't believe me, pay attention, because some people just want to see if you are the real deal. They hold back because they want to see if you're the real deal. Sometimes they poke just to see if you are the individual that you portray. And when time has passed and they see that you are consistent, when they see that you are consistent, when they see that your boundaries do not change, they fall in love with you and become your biggest cheerleader, your strongest supporter. And your covering, they will cover you. They will cover you. So my encouragement to Rita would be, number one, be comfortable with who you are. Be comfortable with who you are. Be confident in who you are. Be who you are. Be who you are. Be confident in who you are. And do you. And then with that, you will begin to not allow other people to have control, because every follower or every subscriber does not have your best interest at heart. Let's face it. I'm sure there are subscribers. Every content creator in here has probably had the experience where people have subscribed, and you know, we're all about numbers. Let's get these numbers up. Let's get the numbers up. Get our subscribership up so we can monetize. Hey, 6 of 7. Good afternoon. Welcome. But we're not paying attention to who we're getting. And some of those subscribers are not here for true support. They are here. Some of them are plants. Some of them are moles and all this kind of stuff, that when stuff goes down, they'll be, you know, because they really feel that they don't like you, but they're just here for, you know, to wait out until something goes on that they can try to tear you down from within. But when your structure is built on a firm foundation, that's why it's so important to make sure that your foundation is laid right, is laid on a is laid on a sure, uh, 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 um, is made sure. Then can't nobody tear you down. They can come and they can throw darts and all this kind of stuff, but it really has no effect on the overall and the big picture and the bottom line. It's just a season. It's just a season. And then what happens is they are your greatest advertisement. They will cause other people to subscribe, and this is why being hungry for subscribers and running for subscribers, please subscribe. Excuse me. I mean, it's all good, but it's not necessary because what's for you, you're gonna get. And I rather get those that are really interested and invested in what I share, um, than to have just everybody, or to have those that are really not interested and just want to tear stuff down. Okay. So I appreciate all of you that have come in. Um, I think I've covered most of the stuff that I just wanted to chat about. Because everybody was talking about it. I said, well, I'll wait until the hype goes down to all of the big, large YouTubers talk about it. Then I'll come in and give my observation. Give my observation on it, um, and at the same time do what I do. 6 or 7, it's good to see you. I'm so glad to see you in here. I'm so glad to see you in here. Again, to you all, this has been wonderful. I've been on here an hour and 38 minutes. Again, I really thought it was just going to be a quickie and stuff. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You're so welcome, DM Lamb. Um, have a great day. As a matter of fact, have a phenomenally great day. So again, now let me say this again. I'm gonna say this one more time. And I said to because oh, I just keep rocking in this chair. I'm sorry, that's distracting. I had made mention, to Jay Wilson, because he was calling the names of the people that came out of the house of Jay Wilson. And I said, I came out of the house too, but you don't mention my name. And he says, that's because you don't put me in, I said, I always call you out. So I'm going to say this to the vlog father, Jay Wilson. I'm calling your name so you know. So I told him, well, you need to come and watch the videos. See, because you can always tell when somebody doesn't watch your videos, when they don't come, or where you can tell whether or not they subscribe to you by, they don't come and watch videos. But well, D Ramsey, good afternoon and welcome. Listen, I am a lotus flower, and I have to make mention of D Ramsey, and I know I do this quite often. I all the content creators that have that have influenced me and that have shared with me, I really like to appreciate them. And D. Ramsey is one of them. I am a lotus flower, as well as a Treecey's Peace, and a Rada Live, and a chat. Thank you, D. Ramsey. I appreciate your influence and your sharing with me. D. Ramsey don't always speak to me in other people's chats when I, say hello, D. Ramsey, but it's all love, and I appreciate you, D. Ramsey. I really do appreciate you because you have given me some um, solid tools. That's the word, and I use that word all the time. You have given me solid tools that stand the test of time, that I have implemented, and they are working like a charm. Thank you. Thank you. And again, thank you. Now, those of you that have come in to the chat, I usually don't say this, but, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, you are welcome to subscribe. Yeah, you're welcome to subscribe. And again, to all the people in this chat, Mimi, D. Ramsey, DM Lamb, oh, thank you, D. Ramsey. I know you're off the network, and I'm cool. Yeah, I know. I'm good. I was just kind of throwing a joke in there. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much. To all of you, 6 of 7, I appreciate you. China Doll, who came in earlier, great people that I have observed. And China Doll, I actually first saw China Doll with Larry Reed. Larry Reed was where I first saw China Doll. And I am so grateful for, the people that I have met on YouTube, both positive and negative, because again, my practice is to learn something from each individual that I come in contact with. And that is, and I say this constantly, that is, you learn what to do and what not to do. Okay? Both in thought and deed when you interact with individuals. So I'm grateful to everybody. Know your own worth. Thank you. Let us know when you and Jay Wilson will do a panel. Blessing. Take care. You too. And I'm sure if we do that, but Jay Wilson, I don't think he likes to collaborate too much. But should it ever come to pass, I will definitely let everybody know. I think it would be a great thing. Yeah, I think it would be a great thing. Yeah, I think that would be awesome. That would be awesome. But again, everyone, I thank you on this Friday. And again, to all my subscribers and new subscribers, I appreciate you. You motivate me. You keep me motivated. For all of the how do I forget that word? For all of the comments, that you all give, I appreciate them because they motivate me and they give me fuel, whether good or bad. I take what is pertinent and I move on. I thank you. And Miss Ramsey, have a safe and wonderful weekend. As a matter of fact, have a phenomenal weekend. Enjoy to the maximum. to everybody, content creators alike. And I appreciate, again, the content creators that are in this room that took time to come and see Johnny Mac 365. Thank you. Now, oh, honey, good afternoon, honey. Stopping by the show, my love and support. I appreciate that, honey. Thank you. Good to see you. Welcome. Unfortunately, you are late and we're getting ready to dismiss Friday morning service. We're getting ready to dismiss Friday morning service. Sees too much. Reloaded. See, I really appreciate your wisdom, Johnny. Well, thank you. You're welcome, and I thank you. Okay, honey. Okay. Okay. 24K, thank you. And welcome. Even though you sound like a troll, but we're getting ready to dismiss, so hey, you're late. To all the lowest flowers in the building, hey. Okay, to everyone, we're going to dismiss. As I always say at the end of my lives, much love to you. More love than your mind can conceive. Much more love than your heart can feel, and more love than your hands can hold. And I say love because above all, the greatest commandment is love. Love covers every commandment, every principle for life is wrapped up in love. So much love to you all.